Hello and welcome to 𝐿𝐭𝐴 Serie A Match Day 11. And we are still enjoying Match Day 10 with 3 games on Thursday, but we are going to analyze the following weekend with Napoli still on top. Great win in San Siro, and the best game in this weekend, Leo, is Napoli-Atalanta.
Absolutely. In the Diego Armando Maradona on Sunday morning, I think it's one of the best games, not just, of course, in the Serie A this weekend, but within all the 5 best European leagues, this Napoli-Atalanta stands out.
Well, 𝐻𝐵𝐺𝐴 is on fire. Is the 𝐻𝐵𝐵𝐺𝐴 we saw a couple of years ago or seasons ago, or even in the Euros. He is back. He doesn't have 𝐜𝐭𝐴𝐳, but Lukaku is there, and it looks like Juventus is not gonna apply for the title race, is out of the �𝐵𝐵𝐴 challenge, but we will talk about it later. In the meantime, guys, remember to press the like, subscribe. Now let's go on with the show. First game on Saturday, Bologna-Lecce, second win of the season for both teams, actually. For Bologna against Cagliari 2-0, and Lecce, massive win against Verona. So both had great midweek games, but Leo, Lecce is still in the relegation zone. So the odds points to the win of Bologna. Let's see if for the first time this season they can get back-to-back wins.
Yes, we will see that. To be honest, it seems to me that the postponement with Milan did well for Bologna. It was a good win they took away in Sardinia. As you mentioned, second of the Serie A season for them. Orsolini, again, Riccardo Orsolini, again, the man of the match for Bologna. The ex-Atalanta Napoli attacker has 3 goals this season and have scored in the last 2 match days for Bologna, first with Genoa and now with Cagliari on Tuesday night. On the game, he got third time lucky because he got 2 clear chances to celebrate before he managed a powerful right-footed shot into the top corner. Italiano spoke of Cagliari being the first real test for Bologna, but I think he's the most relieved after getting 3 points for the first time since the 22nd of September away to Monza. James 𝐻𝐵𝐵𝐴 was the other one to score on Tuesday and assisting as well. Orsolini, he played in a different role behind the striker. Orsolini, Italiano, spoke as well of needing 𝐜𝐵𝐴, the left winger, to become a little bit more clinical in front of goal. Lewis Ferguson, we spoke about him on the last show. He was on the squad. He was on the bench. He did not play any minutes, but for sure maybe he's going to have a chance against Lecce on the weekend. This Lecce, which as well got the second winner of the season on Match Day 10. It was crucial for them to win against Verona, a Verona side that finished with 9 men on Tuesday. The first red card changed it all in the game, because it happened just right before the end of the first half, and then Lecce scored the winning goal 6 minutes into the second half. The win stopped 5 consecutive defeats for Lecce, and although you mentioned it did not lift them out of the relegation zone, at least for sure it gave them a huge boost going into the weekend. Last time in Bologna does not bring good memories for Lecce. 4-0 for Bologna in February with a brace from Riccardo Orsolini. Actually, Orsolini to score here on Saturday anytime, 2.9 for the Bologna striker. But for me, my take is Lecce Asian handicap +1, odds of 1.74.
All right, we have some comments already. Theo, Bologna to win and under 2.5 goals. George, Bologna to win, and also he's going for under, in this case 4.5 goals. Konstantinos is the only one going for an over in this game. Next one, really interesting one, Udinese Juventus. Juventus facing a lot of criticism after the draw against Parma, especially because the defense is so leaky, especially pointing out to Danilo. They are conceding many goals. Also, some fingers pointing to Mota. He doesn't have a plan B. I read tonight. But the thing is that they couldn't beat Parma. And it's only one win in the last 5 games. It's -7 with Napoli, and it's very tough to go to Udine and win. Only Inter had done it this season, Leo.
Yes, absolutely. Difficult patch for Juventus. You mentioned Danilo. I know this is not the 𝐬𝐵 qualifier show, but when you look at him, you just cannot believe he's starting. He's usually in the starting lineup for Brazil. Danilo last night playing left back, and he was very poor. But as I would say, almost all Juventus players were very poor last night, especially on the first half. And yesterday they did not lose, Juventus, only because Michele Di Gregorio saved a 1v1 against Charpentier in the closing minutes. Although it's true that also 𝐜𝐵𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 could have won it for Juventus in the dying minutes. The defensive work, which we praised a lot weeks ago, has now evaporated. 7 goals conceded in the last 3 games in all competitions. As I said, the first half was very poor. Juventus can now finish Matchday 10 in 6th place. If Lazio and Fiorentina win their games tonight, 2 wins and 2 draws away for the 𝐬𝐭𝐵𝐴 this season. To look at some positive, we should find the connection between 𝐜𝐭𝐚𝐲 and 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, which they almost replicate the goal that 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 scored against Inter on Sunday. So for the USA player, now 3 goals this season after the one he scored yesterday. Difficult for Udinese to understand how they lost on Matchday 10. After 25 minutes, Udinese were 2-0 up. They had 19 points and they were 3rd in the table. By the time Poyampalo scored his 2nd goal of the match, Udinese was losing 3-2, was playing with 10 men and dropped to the 7th place with the same points. They traveled to Venice. Lohbrick and Iker Bravo scoring for Udinese. For the Spanish forward was the first goal in Serie A. But by halftime, the game was 2-1 for Udinese. Then 8 minutes into the second half, Touré was shown a red card. We know what's happening in this area. I keep repeating, every time a team gets a red card, we know the other team is the one who's going to win the game. For Udinese, the last 5 match days, 2 wins and 3 defeats. But now they play at home, where they usually produce their best performances. 12 of their 16 points have come at home. 4 wins, 1 defeat. In that condition, to draw a game is nothing new for Juventus. Let's remember, Juventus have drawn 16 out of 30 league games in 2024. It's a record across the top 5 European leagues. For me here, Edu, double chance Udinese 1.92 sounds very good.
Wow, trusting Udinese, it looks really bad. Juventus, probably they were overperforming. We didn't expect them to fight for the Scudetto at the beginning of the season. Last season, they were really far away with Allegri, with a new manager, with a lot of youngsters. It looked very complicated, but they started the season really good. 𝐋𝐿𝐴 is saying Juventus ruined my ACCA yesterday. Well, you should check Leo's ACCA. Probably if Lazio is not losing tonight, the ACCA will go through. So check it out. Both teams to score for Theo and over 1.5 goals in the second half for Konstantinos. Both teams to score is also a good one. The odds for Udinese are just great. This is very difficult to win at the Friuli. And we stay in the north of Italy, Monza, Milan. This is the Berlusconi, in rest in peace, or Galliani's derby, because remember, it's owned by them. And Monza having difficulties this season, 8 points, same as Venezia or Lecce in the relegation zone. They lost to Atalanta as expected. It's only 1 win this season. Still no wins at home. And for Milan, Leo, last season was very difficult also with Pioli on the bench. It looks like the team needed a boost. The appointment of Fonseca was a bit controversial. I didn't understand it as well, and they haven't started well. Already 3 defeats, -11 with Napoli. And yeah, that defeat against Napoli was really harmful for them.
Yes, and to be honest, when you mention Fonseca, he keeps repeating that Milan is going to challenge for the Serie A title. But at the same time, you look at Fonseca's history and you don't find the manager who's used to fight for titles. Yes, everyone can point out to Shakhtar Donetsk and he won the title in Ukraine, but it's just Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine. Then when you go to Porto, he won a Super Cup, a Portuguese Super Cup as soon as he arrived, but then he was sacked a few months into the season. In Roma was a disaster. And now in Milan, he keeps reassuring the fans that they will compete for the Serie A, that the team is growing. He said that after Lukaku scored 5 minutes into the game, that from there Milan played quality football. I don't know how much, which game, to be honest, he was watching. It's true, Milan had the ball on against Napoli, but most of the danger was by shooting from outside of the box. Nothing worked with Milan because Morata and everyone thought that he would have make it 1-2 just for the VAR to rule it out for offside, and that was just 1 minute into the second half. On top of all the injuries they have, then Pulisic did not start because he was with fever. That's fine, but then he left in the bench Rafa Leao. If you don't have Pulisic to play from the start and your choice is Okafor to be the one on the left of Morata, then it's difficult to understand Fonseca's decision. And now comes Monza, who did resist at least for 70 minutes in Bergamo against Atalanta, which should give them a little bit of confidence, knowing on seeing that the team is developing slowly for Alessandro Nesta. 5 points from the last 15 is not very good, of course, but at least showing some signs of improvement. No wins at home this season, and 5 goals scored in 5 games for them in that condition. In February, the game finished 4-2 for Monza, and it was a game that was decided on added time, with Monza scoring in the 92nd and then again in the 96th minutes of the match. Maybe I can't see that happening again this time with Milan. True that Milan won just one match away this season, and that was the derby with Inter, but they will have Theo Hernandez returning, and also they're going to have Reinders returning in midfield for Milan, both coming back after their suspension. My take here is Milan Asian handicap, a little bit conservative. Milan Asian handicap minus 0.75. It has odds of 1.92. So if Milan wins by 2 goals, you win your stake. If Milan wins by 1 goal margin, you're going to win half of your stake.
Wow, risky this one. Eric is going for a double chance. It pays very little. Theo for Monza +1. I actually like this one. I would not trust Milan. Milan both teams to score an over 2.5 goals. It was also mix funny and mix sad seeing how Morata celebrated that goal at the beginning of the second half and then disallowed. Why? Offside, of course. Morata always in offside is also not clicking in his new spell in Serie A. For Milan is not working. I didn't understand the appointment of Fonseca, and also another player like Rafael Leao. We should expect much more from him, and he's not delivering. And the match of the weekend is midday, 11:30 in Napoli.
Great time.
Well, 12:30 actually, local time. Napoli, Atalanta, first against the third. Napoli could challenge for the Scudetto, of course. Why not? They are 3.3. To win the Scudetto right now. They won in Milan, one of the toughest games of the season. They drew with Juventus. The other tough game they've played so far is 6 consecutive wins, and now they have another challenge because Atalanta, together with Napoli, Leo, probably are the 2 best teams in Serie A right now. Inter may forgive me, and Atalanta 4 consecutive wins. They are now third, and Gasperini was highlighting also Zaniolo, who played some minutes.
Yes, Zaniolo playing some minutes last night in their win 2-0 against Monza. I had the feeling that they played a little bit with the foot on the brake. Atalanta, 3 games in 9 days is is too much for some players, and Gasperini gonna go to that. He didn't rotate at all last night against Monza because Emerson played from the start. De Ketelaere, Retegui, Lookman, De Roon, Ruggeri all play from the start, and they went quiet the first half, but in the end Samardzic gave them the advantage, assisted by Retegui. Then Zappacosta put the match to rest. 2 goals for Samardzic this season, which gave Atalanta 4 points, those 2 goals. He scored to make it 1-1 against Bologna, and he made it the 1-0 yesterday against Monza. Last season, Atalanta, yes, won 3-0 in the Diego Armando Maradona, but last season was a disaster for Napoli, so I believe it makes more sense maybe to look at the season when Napoli won the Scudetto, and that was a 2-0 for Napoli. Against Milan, I think everything that Conte loves we saw for Napoli, scoring first and early, retreating in his own half and play to the counter. After that, they finished the first half 2-0 with 3 shots. And from those 3 shots, 2 were on target and 2 were at the back of the net. So I believe Conte for sure has been very, very, very pleased. They could have made it even 3-0 in the second half because between Lukaku, Kvaratskhelia, and McTominay, they almost scored in a very good counter. Another clean sheet for Napoli, another win 2-0 for Napoli. 6 of the last 7 wins have been 2-0 for Napoli. We spoke of Lukaku not finding the net on open play. Bam! After 5 minutes, he's done it against Milan and put that debate to bed. It was the 6th goal of Lukaku against Milan, all of them with Conte, under Conte, because with Simone Inzaghi and Mourinho, he did not score against Milan. He has now 100 goals involvements in Serie A. Romelu Lukaku, 74 goals and 26 assists. At the same stage of the season when Napoli won the Scudetto and Osimhen won the 𝐿𝐭𝐵𝐶𝐿 award, the Nigerian had 1 goal less than Lukaku at this point. I was looking at different markets, to be honest, and everything looks quite healthy and possible in this Napoli-Atalanta. A clean sheet for Napoli, odds of 3. Napoli to win 2-0 is 3.75. Of course, Atalanta, we are used to see them scoring. Lukaku to score anytime, odds of 2.5. Retegui to score anytime, odds of 3. Both teams to score yes, which I believe many people might go for that, is 1.70. For me, is Napoli to win, odds of 2.
Napoli over corners for Konstantinos, over 3.5 goals. Lukaku to score, yes, Theo is saying, is becoming AC Milan assassinator. Well, both teams to score and under 3.5. That's risky. This is 1-1, 2-1 for either side. Leo is trusting Napoli, and this is a very, very tough game. 3 defeats so far for Atalanta, and is the entertaining team of the season, together with Inter. 26 goals scored, the highest tally. 14 goals conceded. They are also very leaky at the back, but also they started the season with a lot of problems. It's very entertaining, this area, very difficult to predict this season. For instance, Fiorentina, they started really poorly the season, and now they are on a hype. They are visiting Torino at the weekend. Today, Thursday, they are playing against Genoa, but they are coming from 5 consecutive wins, including the 5-1 against Roma, so really in form. But Torino is also doing the classic Torino season, Leo, which has been in the 9th spot, 10th spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But look, Torino's 14 points so far, Edu, is their best at this same stage of a Serie A campaign since 2016. They ended the Matchday 9 with that 3-game losing streak with their 1-0 over Como. With Paolo Vanoli, we have seen moments of good footballs, but also pretty much a lack of consistency. The determination we saw in their last win is for sure what Vanoli is looking out from this team going forward. Che Adams and Tony Sanabria will lead the attacking line against Fiorentina. The Scottish with 3 goals, the Paraguayan has 2 goals, and they are showing so far a good understanding between them. Borna Sosa will be back as well from injury to play on Sunday. Torino needs to do better at home anyway. They have collected 7 points, same as away so far. However, when you look at the goal score, they have 15, but only 5 of them in front of their fans. Although, fair to say, from the 14 goals they have conceded, just 4 were conceded at home. Last season we have a 0-0 in Turin against Fiorentina, and for Fiore, since the end of September marked the time when everything started to click or going according to plan for Raffaele Palladino. They have collected 13 of the last 16 points in Serie A. They won 2 fixtures in Conference League. Away from home, Fiorentina have lost only 1 of the last 6 going into the end of last season. The odds on them are good. But despite this run of good results for Fiorentina and goals from Fiorentina, I will rest on Torino's defensive performances at home so far. So I will go in the goals under market, goals under 2.5 for this Torino Fiorentina, odds of 1.79.
𝐿𝐿 is going for Fiorentina to win and both teams to score. To be honest, I expect Fiorentina's run to end very soon, and this is a very tough game for Fiorentina. Also on Sunday, we have Verona Roma. This game is very difficult to predict at the moment because we don't know if 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is going to stay. He has a match ball against Torino on Thursday. There are a lot of rumors around Roma. Still no wins away from home for Roma. Is 4 draws and 1 defeat, but Verona is in a really difficult position. They are in really bad moment, close to the relegation spots. They were down to 9 men in Lecce, and it's 6 defeats in the last 7 games. So there is no aim, in my case, Leo, to back Verona as well here.
Look, Edu, and you mentioned the 2 red cards, and they have a discipline problem. Last season, they were bottom of the fair play table with 4 red cards. And this season, after 10 matches, they have already seen 4 red cards, and 2 of them against Lecce. And when you are fighting for relegation, you cannot afford that. And we keep seeing, as soon as a team, it doesn't matter if they are like losing the game, if they need to win from the game, as soon as the opposition goes to 10 men, you know how the score is how the match is gonna finish so far in this Serie A season. So Verona cannot afford that. 2 wins within the first 3 match days for Verona. That was amazing. That was very good. After that, they lost 3 consecutive matches. They won the derby against Venezia, and from there, another 3 consecutive defeats, conceding 10 times, scoring 1 in the process. To lose with Lecce was even harder to take than the 6-1 with Atalanta on Matchday 9, because it was a 6-pointer for them. It is true that the bottom of the table is crazy at the moment, because we talk a lot about Atalanta, Juve, Napoli, of course, Inter, but when we look at the bottom, it's really crazy, because if Genoa at least gets a point against Fiorentina tonight, we will have 7 teams in 2 points. So the pressure is on Paolo Zanetti, Verona's manager. The pressure on him is huge right now. Some reports in Italy, they say that he may not even make it to Sunday against Roma, which Verona plays Roma on Sunday. They're going to play Fiorentina away, Inter at home, and from there they're going to face 3 consecutive 6-pointers, Cagliari, Empoli, and Roma for them. But maybe this fixture with Roma is another relegation battle, because Roma is sitting 3 positions above Verona, but only 1 point more than them. You mentioned no wins away for them, 4 draws and 1 defeat. 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 looks like Keanu Reeves in Matrix, dodging bullets all these past days. Everyone calling for him to get the sack. Ex-Roma players from different teams like Boban, as I mentioned last show. It seems that this is going to lead to 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 leaving the team, although we need to see what's happening against Torino on Matchday 10. And whoever sits on the bench for Roma on Sunday, they will still be the favorites anyway to get the 3 points here. My take, Roma to score first is not massive. It's a little bit conservative. I trust Roma, but I trust maybe up to there. I wouldn't go fully, but Roma to score first, 1.58 for them.
Well, the odds are very good for Roma. They should win at 1 point also away from the Olimpico, but they are so bad this season. Another point, as Theo is saying, is Paolo Zanetti, I wouldn't be surprised also if he sacked very soon. The manager of Verona, they started the season with a couple of wins, but since then, as I said, is 6 defeats in the last 7 games. Is the only team actually without a draw in this Serie A so far. And the last game we have on Saturday is Inter Venezia. It should be an easy game for Inter after beating Empoli comfortably, because Empoli again went down to 10 men and Inter took advantage in the second half with Fratesi scoring a brace, with Lautaro in the score sheet. Important. Perhaps we see some turnover, Leo, in this game, because Arsenal is coming next weekend, and this Venezia got a massive win. I think not even the supporters expected this against Torino, because Torino went down to 10 men. There were 2 penalties, and 𝐿𝐵𝗵𝗀𝗀, Iceman, scored both penalties, and it was a huge party in La Laguna, because, again, no one expected this win, and Di Francesco said that these players are going to fight for the T-shirt until the end. They are still in relegation, but credit to Venezia, indeed.
Yes, absolutely. To turn around the game, Udinese was huge for them. A win which did not lift them out of the relegation zone, but again, we said before, it's packed at the bottom, so not to be out of the relegation zone, it doesn't say too much at the moment, because everyone is there between 1 or 2 points. But it was massive for them to do it after going down 2-0 against Udinese. Away from home, Venezia cannot show many smiles, 4 defeats and 2 draws. And I believe, Edu, the focus for Venezia anyway is not San Siro, especially after playing 3 games in a week, because after Inter, they will face Parma, Lecce, and 𝐿𝐵𝗵𝗀𝗀. Those are the types of games that in which the future for Venezia hangs. Last time in San Siro this season, for Venezia finished with Milan scoring 4 goals in the first 30 minutes of the game against them. Inter show against Empoli the deep squad they have, which could be maybe the difference with Napoli going into the end of the season. I think that Antonio Conte does not have that same luxury than Simone Inzaghi. Against Juve without 𝐾𝐿, the one who stepped up was 𝐿𝐵𝗫𝗀, scoring twice from midfield. Against Empoli without the Turkish and without 𝐿𝐵𝗫𝗀 in the starting 11, because he wasn't 100% fit. The one who rested his game was, you mentioned, Davide Fratesi, scoring a brace. Yes, everything changed after the half an hour when Empoli was reduced to 10 men. Lautaro Martinez, after finishing 7th in the Ballon d'Or, provided a beautiful assist and scored the 3rd one, and became the club's most prolific foreign scorer. The one with Empoli was his 134th goal with Inter. Nerazzurro now 21 points, 4 behind Napoli, 4 wins and 1 draw since the defeat with Milan. Lautaro Martinez has 4 goals this Serie A, all of them away from home. Lautaro to score anytime in San Siro on Sunday, odds of 1.8. Anyway, my take here, Inter Venezia, Inter to win both half, with odds hovering around 2.
Well, check the lineups. Perhaps we don't see Lautaro in the pitch, or Marcus Thuram, for instance. Frixen is going for Marcus Thuram anytime scorer. And as I said, Inter are playing Arsenal in midweek. This should be an easy game, so perhaps there is a bit of turnover. Although every time we see Arnautovic on the pitch, it's kind of a disaster. So Lautaro and Thuram must be, or Taremi even. They were both a bit of a disaster, even against young boys when last time we saw them. So Lautaro and Marcus Thuram, for sure, they will have minutes against Venezia. And then 3 more games on Monday. Empoli Como is the first one. This should be important for the relegation battle, although Empoli are 3 points away and doing a great season, even if they are dropping in the table as we expect. Is 2 draws and 3 defeats in the last games. Como 1 point above the relegation, winless in the last 3. This is not easy, but I'm surprised to see Well, actually, the odds now Swift, but I saw Como slightly favorite. Still, I think there is some value on the home team.
Yes, I was surprised too when I was, to be honest, checking that before, especially last night, to see Como slightly favorite in this game. Yes, we mentioned Empoli's defeat with Inter, how lately they dropped a little bit the level, but it's true that the opposition as well counts, and they lost against Napoli, now against the Nerazzurro, the 3 defeats and 2 draws in the last 5. I think that the most negative aspect for them, more than to have lost those games, is that they haven't scored in the last 3 home matches, in the draw with Fiorentina and then in the defeats with Napoli and Inter. Still, book is a little bit undecided, but I still see Empoli a little bit slightly above Como for this one. Como that plays tonight with Lazio. Fabregas team with 9 points. Which is 5 points more at this same stage than the last time in Serie A for Como. Away from home for them is 1 win in 6 matches. The only win was against Atalanta. Huge win, that one for Como. The rest is 4 defeats and 1 draw away from home for them. Sergio Roberto likely to miss the game next Monday with a tight injury. So as I said, parity for the bookies. I don't see a clear favorite here, although Empoli slightly above Como. Many markets that we could explore. We're gonna face that parity. Games between bottom sides are delivering lately strange results and also goals lately. When my instinct, for example, in this one will be pointing to goals under market, but lately between bottom sides we are having goals over in Serie A. I will go for a conservative route. Odds are not great, but fine, and at least allows as well for 2 results. For me, Empoli double chance 1.54.
Indeed, Empoli Asian handicap 0 could be another option. Crypto is going for an under 3.5 goals. I guess Empoli's defense is being solid, and San Martin is asking me if I think it's going to be an under Torino Fiorentina. I'm not sure, to be honest. With Fiorentina, I tend to go for over 20 goals scored, 9 conceded is a good tally. Also, Torino 15 and 14. So Fiorentina is so unpredictable, and we usually see so many goals that it's kind of a nightmare to bet. It's the kind of the Tottenham of the Serie A, so it's so unpredictable. And again,
but just going back to that one, as you say, it's true, Fiorentina scoring a lot recently, but Torino, as much as they have conceded 14 goals in the season, just 4 of them has been at home. Away from home is a different story. They have scored 10 and they have conceded 10. But Torino defensively playing in Turin in front of their own fans is only 4 conceded so far. So that's why I went the goals under in that match.
All right, next one, Parma, Genoa. Yep. Parma, one of these teams that is entertaining as well, and usually offensive. We've seen some under, but in general, it's a very young team, very offensive, as we saw against Juventus. They could have won, actually, that game. At the end, even a mistake from the goalkeeper almost lose it, but very brave, great performance in the Juventus stadium. And now they are favorite to face Genoa, because Genoa are bottom of the table, only 6 points, only 1 win. Still, the odds are a bit short for Parma. Leo, is 4 consecutive draws, by the way, for them.
Yes, but they've been very good last night with Juventus. Yes, they could have lost it at the end, but they could have won it as well with that 1v1 that Charpentier couldn't score against Di Gregorio. But they were brave, Edu. It was a good game to watch for neutral, because it was like they were going from one side to the other. But that is because Parma really wanted to play on the front foot. When you think of Juventus and Parma playing in Turin, and you need to think of one team playing or scoring at the counter, the first thought will be, okay, it's going to be Parma, the one scoring at the counter. But in the end was Juventus, the one scoring at the counter. And that happened because Parma was taking the game into Juventus half. You say in Parma Genoa, and I cannot stop thinking about Super Mario, because Super Mario is back. He's not playing tonight for Genoa. I'm talking about Super Mario Balotelli. He's not going to be tonight against Fiorentina, but he's likely to be on the squad on the trip to the Ennio Tardini on Monday. Balotelli has scored 52 goals in 141 Serie A games with Inter, Milan, and Brescia. I mean, he's not going to score as Retegui or Lukaku, you name it. But for a team like Genoa, who has scored just 7 times in 9 matches, that has huge financial problems, to have added Mario Balotelli as a free transfer on a very low wages, I think is a good business. At least it's good business for the show as well. We know what Super Mario can also bring. Yes, you said Parma, anyways, continues the winless run, 8 without a win for them, and 4 consecutive draws, as you pointed out. But again, for me, last night was good for them. And for a team with 1 win all season to come up from Turin saying that they are not satisfied with the result, I think it shows how good they were with Juve in Turin. Genoa, if they don't win to Lazio, will arrive with the same winless run as Parma, 8 without a win if they don't win against Lazio tonight. The last 2 away fixtures for Genoa saw them conceding 8 goals, 5 with Atalanta and 3 with Lazio on match day 9. Despite these similar runs that we could show with Parma and with Genoa, the season has shown me that they are not at the same level so far. That's for me. Parma to win with odds around 2 is good for me.
Balotelli to get a red card on Monday. This is a good one for Theo. Parma to win also.
Nice one.
Back in your idea, it's also interesting. Alberto Gilardino, no? He was a Parma player. I remember in his early days playing for Parma before moving to Milan, and now manager of Genoa. Let's see how long, because Genoa are in a difficult moment. It's true that defeat in the Derby della Lanterna in the Coppa Italia and Sampdoria hurt them, and still they haven't bounced back. Always very passionate, the supporters, the tifosi in Genova. Either you are supporting Sampdoria or the oldest club in Italy, like Genoa. Well, Leo, one more game is Lazio Cagliari, with Lazio doing this amazing season at home. They are the second best home team, 4 wins, 1 draw, only behind Napoli. And Cagliari, they are going to struggle for sure the whole season. So it's kind of a safe bet, safe-ish bet, Lazio to win.
Yes, absolutely. Look, that home form is very good. 13 points out of 15 so far. They have scored 12 of their 17 goals at the Olimpico. In Europa League, the only fixture they play in the capital, they scored 4 against Nice as well. If they win tonight in Como, they will be third with 19 points, 2 behind Inter and 6 behind Napoli. Lazio is a great contender for Champions League spots this season, absolutely. For Cagliari against Bologna was the 5th defeat of the season. After that mini run of 7 points out of 9 between Matchday 6 and Matchday 8, they are now at the back of 2 consecutive defeats. 9 points, just 1 point above the relegation zone, away from Sardinia for Cagliari. 2 defeats in 4 with 1 win, that was against Parma, and 1 draw in Turin with Juventus. Here, quick and clear, Edu, for this Lazio and Cagliari. Lazio to win 2-0 for me, 2.5.
Okay, easy and simple. Tom is gonna be with us in some hours. Actually, we recorded the video, so if you are looking for the Premier League video, very interesting one, because there are great games this weekend in the Premier League. You have it later on in the channel, as we have our tipster competitions. Leo, today or tonight is going to be Halloween, and tomorrow you can participate again in our monthly competitions for November. And also we have the Premier League, we have yearly, we have NFL. Are you going to get dressed up, Leo, for Halloween? Is something people do in Hungary?
To be honest, everything is dressed up as Halloween in the streets. So I might be taking my girls around the Buda area, the castle area, for trying to find some sweet. But
Nice.
I won't dress up. It's very likely I'm gonna be wearing my Maradona t-shirt, because yesterday Maradona would have turned 64. Would have been 64. So it's very likely I'm gonna be with the San Diego t-shirt for sure.
I'm not sure if it counts as a Halloween costume.
No, it doesn't count. No, not at all. But I'm just telling you my outfit, but no, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Okay, we were seeing also our Discord channel. There you have also Oddspedia is on Discord. I'm not gonna get dressed up, Theo, by the way. Maybe go out, have a couple of drinks, but not dressed up. Well, Leo, tell me your safe bet. Last midweek was Atalanta to win, and you were correct. In this case, is
this instant is Inter first half Asian handicap minus 0.5, odds of 1.55 for them.
And your ACCA?
The ACCA includes the safe bet plus double chance Torino plus Lazio to win. That gives me a total ACCA of 3.96.
Let's see if we can see it on the screen. Otherwise, it looks like we are not going to see it on the screen, but you will have it in the description. Indeed, San Martin, Halloween only has meaning related to All Saints Day and All Souls Day. Indeed, and I'm very attached to Mexico. So also in Mexican, Dia de Muertos is a huge thing in Oaxaca. The movie also, I forgot the name of the...
Oh, the Disney one, yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't Coco, no.
Coco, exactly. That's an amazing movie to watch tonight. Well, guys, have fun tonight and with Serie A. See you next week. Bye-bye.